This is the inspection of a sloped roof on a commercial property. Inspecting sloped roofs does not have to mean we walk the sloped roof. Within the CompSop, it actually says we are not required to walk sloped roofs. We are only required to walk roofs which have a permanent means of access. Bringing a ladder, putting on a sloped roof is not a permanent means of access. Now, that's different than a residential inspection, largely because in a commercial inspection, the expectations from the inspector or for the inspector upon the client are completely different. Our client wants to know the condition of the roof, not did you walk it or didn't you walk it. So it's important to think about that as you're walking through this process. I walk through this process directly with my client right at the very beginning. Hi, my name is Rob. I'll be doing your inspection today. I will be inspecting this roof from the ground. I'm going to walk around the entire perimeter and look at this entire roof. I did not give my client the opportunity to say, are you walking this roof? I placed that right there and I punctuated that. Now I will have to say that there's nothing on this sloped roof that will be more visible from the ground versus on the roof. I can see everything that we need to see. I've walked the entire perimeter of this roof. It's a hip roof. I've seen all four sides of this hip roof. Now there's a bunch of different ways you could use to get a closer look, should you want to, or need to have a little bit more assistance in looking at the roof. One would include placing a ladder at the eave. And I would not dismount my ladder, but that would give me an opportunity to touch the roof. Another method could be using a drone. A drone would be able to fly up, get a good look at the roof. And lastly, you could use a camera mounted on a pole and get yourself up in the air, off the ground, without leaving the ground. All are very effective means, but today I want to use the ladder on the eaves. Now it's important, if you're going to use the ladder on the eaves, you always have your ladder in a safe position. Now that safe position includes a few things that we need to talk about before I get up on the roof. Safety is the most important aspect, I think, to any inspection. Going home every night has got to be every inspector's goal. And anytime you get on a ladder and leave terra firma, the ground, you're doing just one level additional risk that might not have been necessary. I've determined that I want to look at the shingles. I am not going to leave the ladder, but I am going to go up on the ladder to touch the roof at the eaves. Before I do that, ladder placement. As you walk around the building, you're going to determine the safest spot to place your ladder. Now, when you look at the ladder, the important thing is to make sure your feet are firmly and evenly planted. That's the bottom of the ladder. Now, I have wedged my feet into this curb. And on this curb, it's going to act like it's going to hold it in place. That's a good thing. That's what my goal was. The next is the right angle. The right angle, or the proper angle, of ladder placement is 72.5 degrees. Now, I want everybody to go and start carrying a protractor with them and calculate exactly the angle of your ladder. Or, if you stood at your ladder and held your arms straight out in a 90-degree angle, that angle between your feet at the ladder and your arms at the next rung is exactly 72.5 degrees. Maybe you don't have to carry a protractor as long as you have your arms and your feet, but that's your choice. And lastly, my ladder needs to extend up so that I'm above the eave line. Now, everybody's got a different standard. Some are 3 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches. I will leave that up to you and how high you want it. But I want to talk about the fact that your ladder dismounting is over the top of the ladder, not to the side of the ladder. Most of us dismount these ladders wrong every time. Now, I am not one in doing as an inspector that never ever is afraid to ask for help. So anybody present, whether that's your client, a realtor, an assistant, anybody can come to my inspections and give me a hand. And I ask for that every time. And that could be just a matter of putting your foot at the bottom of the ladder and making sure it doesn't move. And that's called heeling the ladder. But that's all it takes. So the most dangerous part of my inspection would be going up and down this ladder. I will make sure that it doesn't move. So with that, let's go see what victory we might have, which I don't think is going to be huge, but I do want to see what the shingle quality looks like on this sloped roof. We've climbed up these ladders and we're up here on this roof. And all I'm doing is I'm looking for adhesion. I want to make sure that this asphalt shingle is well adhered. And this is going to give me just that little bit more look at the granules. If I've got a loss of granules, as well as if there's any other sections that are starting to twist up and curve. This is also answering the question when I was walking around the exterior from the ground, I saw some replaced shingles in this area right here, and this is giving me the diagnosis that they are replaced. We probably had a valley go bad, and this is just going to be a different picture that I'm going to take. That's all I'm doing up here. I'm not going to dismount this ladder to go over the top to go walk this roof. Now, I know a lot of inspectors have all kinds of safety tricks that they'll use. Some will have clamps that clamp your ladder to the gutter. Some will use a bungee cord. You do whatever you feel safe with, but the important thing is you do not have to walk sloped roofs.